There's a pair of Ford Falcons, two young guns of the division, Luke Fraser and Brock Atkins from the front row. Matt Noakes in the first of the Holden Commodores, and Aidan Raymond, who won this event 10 years ago in his home state at the High-Tech Oils to Toowoomba Speedway. Brad Wicks, a long-time Super Sedan campaigner, will go from P5. Brandon Fraser and Brendan Selleck, pair of former WA champions, and the Victorian champion. Move those joints, get the blood flowing. Let our 22 finalists know you're out there. The SSA National Modified Sedan title returns to Western Australia after a 9-year hiatus. The 47th running is set to unfold in just a few moments' time here at Atwell Park. Luke Fraser and the reigning national champion Brock Atkins lead us to the green flag. We're racing in the 47th running of the SSA National Modified Sedan title. A-Main is all go. And the 15 Falcon from Western Australia will lead him out of turn 2 and down the back straight for the first of 40 occasions. Matt Noakes hustles the Commodore to the inside. They're 2 and 3 wide behind our leaders. Brandon Fraser widest of all, Raymond on the bottom, and Brad Wicks in the middles. They got one lap completed of Atwell Park. It's a pair of West Australians leading the way. The 15 of Luke Fraser from the 21 of Matt Noakes. Great start by Jason Batchelor. He's up into about 8th place early in this one as Aidan Raymond goes to work on the inside of Brock Atkins. Raymond on the inside. The 2013 national champion will go to 3rd. Atkins back to 4th from Brandon Fraser. Brad Wicks, Joel Berkeley is 7th from Kai Walters. Jason Batchelor and Brendan Selleck rounds out your top 10. Jared Waters is 11th from Laurie Dowsett and Jamie Higgs. But Matt Noakes harassing the back bumper of one of his good mates off the racetrack in Luke Fraser. It's the Falcon of Fraser leading the Commodore of Matt Noakes. Luke Fraser, the 4 feature race wins on the season this summer with the WA Modified Sedan Series, including a win here at Atwell Park in late February. He leads the way from the 2016 WA champion in Modified Sedans in Matt Noakes, who's harassing Luke Fraser as they enter turn number 3. Brandon Fraser's gone to the top shelf of the racetrack. In the Civil Hirings Ford Falcon, he's up there in 5th. Trying to find a bit of racetrack to work around the outside of the national champion in Brock Atkins, and Joel Berkeley is on the hustle early. The 2023 WA champ is 6th from Kai Walters. Jared Waters is 8th from Brad Wicks, Brendan Selleck, Jason Batchelor, Laurie Dowsett, and further back to Jamie Higgs. This race is going at an absolute breakneck pace at the moment as the Modified Sedans strut their stuff here at Atwell Park. They come out of turn 2 and past the Auto 1 sign into turn number 3. There'll be 6 laps completed in this A-Main as they come out of turn number 4. It's Luke Fraser just putting a little bit of a gap between himself and the 21 of Matt Noakes. Aidan Raymond is 3rd from Brock Atkins, Brandon Fraser, Joel Berkeley, and Jared Waters has got the Mercedes-Benz moving forward early in this A-Main. He's 7th from Brad Wicks, Kai Walters, Brendan Selleck. Jason Batchelor's got the rear bumper hanging off the back of the Falcon. He's in 11th from Laurie Dowsett, Jamie Higgs, Sam McCauley, and Paul Stevens rounds out your top 15. No retirements at this point of the race, and it's still Luke Fraser from Matt Noakes. Aidan Raymond is in 3rd in the Cooroy Auto Records Falcon from Queensland. First of the Victorians is the reigning national champ Brock Atkins as the Mercedes is really humming forward. That's the V92 of Jared Waters, who's got the second quickest time of the race, the 19.030. He's on the inside of Brandon Fraser. Joel Berkeley's gone 3/4 track high, trying to wheel the Cush Clothing Falcon forward. But we're nearly a quarter of the way home in this national title A-Main for Modified Sedans. 9 down and 31 remaining, and it's the four-time feature race winner this season for the WA Modified Sedan Series, supported by Batchelor Industries of Luke Fraser, who leads another WA driver in Matt Noakes by 1.4 seconds from Aidan Raymond. Aidan Raymond's in 3rd place, and Jared Waters is on the hustle. The Mercedes is now 4th from Brock Atkins, Brandon Fraser, Joel Berkeley, Brad Wicks is 8th from Jason Batchelor, and Laurie Dowsett rounds out your top 10 in car number 14 from Albany. And all of a sudden, lap traffic will come into play. The first of those is Matt Nelson, who's campaigning the Jamie Goodwin-owned Holden Commodore in this national title A-Main here in Albany. It's Fraser by 1.5 seconds back to Matt Noakes, that ever so slightly is falling into the clutches of the Q28 of Aidan Raymond. But Jared Waters is absolutely flying, ladies and gentlemen. An 18.948 is now the fastest time of the race. And the NZ Mildura Mercedes is coming towards the top 3. Brock Atkins is 5th from Brandon Fraser. Joel Berkeley is 7th. Jason Batchelor and Brad Wicks, those pair of EL Falcons battling for 8th. And Laurie Dowsett rounds out your top 10. but the Civil Hirings Ford Falcon from the northern suburbs of Perth has completed 13 laps of Atwell Park as Matt Nelson's got smoke billowing from the engine room of Jamie Goodwin's Holden Commodore. He's out of harm's way for our leaders, managed to get on by, but it's Fraser from Matt Noakes. Aidan Raymond is now starting to apply the pressure to the 2016 WA champion in Matt Noakes, but Jared Waters is absolutely flying. The V92 Mercedes to the inside of Aidan Raymond, a great battle for third and fourth. Look at Waters going to work on the bottom side of Albany's Atwell Park. He looks to the inside of Aidan Raymond, a bit of touch between the two as they enter turn number 3. The South Australian champion is motoring in this 40-lap A main. We've completed 15 laps of Atwell Park without a stoppage. Brock Atkins is a distant 5th from Brandon Fraser. Joel Berkeley, Brad Wicks is 8th. Laurie Dowsett battling with his fellow Albany driver in Jason Batchelor for 9th. As they make their way to turn number 4, there's some serious lap traffic now starting to come into play. The first of those is Daniel Simpson, who just climbed the concrete wall ahead of our leader, that being Luke Fraser. Luke Fraser brings it out of turn number 2. Matt Noakes still in second from Aidan Raymond. Jared Waters again to the inside of Aidan Raymond. A big lunge into turn number 3. Just can't quite make the move stick as they make their way out of turn number 4 and down the front straight. Brock Atkins is holding off Brandon Fraser for 5th. From Joel Berkeley, Brad Wicks, Laurie Dowsett and Jason Batchelor, your top 10. As our leader just coming up on Daniel Simpson and Aidan Truern as Matt Nelson retires from the race, and Brodie Christie in early retirement in this one as well. They're the 2 cars out of this A main. We're nearly halfway home. 18 down and 22 remaining, and Jared Waters now has 3rd place from Matt Noakes. Jared Waters is by far the fastest car on the racetrack, an 18.694, and he's absolutely flying. As a Mercedes-Benz, he just disposes of Matt Noakes. He's now 2nd, and he would love a stoppage to bring that 15 Falcon back to him. We're 19 laps through this A main here in Albany as Luke Fraser negotiates the first of the lap cars, that being the 33 of Daniel Simpson. Aidan Truern staying well out of the way of our leaders, but we're halfway home in this national title and we have not had a stoppage. It's been the order of the day this weekend here in Albany for the Modified Sedans, and Jared Waters' fastest lap time is 0.3 of a second quicker than anything that Luke Fraser has done so far in this 40-lap final, as Luke Fraser brings the 15 Falcon into the front straight. 21 completed, 19 remaining. Matt Noakes is 3rd, and Aidan Raymond. Aidan Raymond retires from the race. He was sitting in 4th place, but the former national champion won't be on the podium in 2023 as Jared Waters is coming for the race lead. They make their way out of turn number 4 and down the front straight with 18 to run of Atwell Park. Here comes the South Australian champion. He was 3rd 12 months ago at Moama, and he's got something for the 15, you'd have to imagine. Here comes Jared Waters out of NZ in Mildura. He's about to apply the blowtorch to the 15 car of Luke Fraser. Fraser brings the Falcon down the main straight. Waters has a bit of a lunge into turn number 1 with 17 laps remaining of Atwell Park. Jared Waters is absolutely flying. Look at the Mercedes go to the inside of Luke Fraser as Brendan Selleck slowing here in the front straight in the All Right Signs Commodore from Kalgoorlie. He's off the pace and well out of harm's way. Will the yellow lights come on? That's the big burning question. Brendan Selleck, I think he's going to bring it to a stop. He does. We've got a stoppage, ladies and gentlemen, with 24 laps completed in this SSA National Modified Sedan A main. In fact, make that 23 laps completed and 17 remaining on the weekend. And he goes early in turn number 3, wants to get this show underway. 15 Falcon leads him into turn number 1. Matt Noakes and the Commodore has a little bit of a look to the inside of Waters as Brock Atkins and Brandon Fraser continue their fantastic scrap for 4th place. Joel Berkeley going to the top shelf of the racetrack in the Cush Clothing Falcon. He's in 6th from Brad Wicks, Laurie Dowsett, Jason Batchelor and Jamie Higgs, your top 10. But 16 laps remain here in Albany, and the West Australian Luke Fraser continues to lead this one by only 0.2 of a second that last time around from Jared Waters, who seriously closes the gap in Pitt's corner that time around. Here comes the V92. This might be the race-winning move. He throws the Mercedes to the inside in turn number 1. A little bit of contact. They make more contact on the exit of turn number 2. Fraser muscles the Falcon back to the low line on Jared Waters. The Mercedes getting busy on the inside of Luke Fraser. A little bit of a touch. It just starts to back up a little bit behind our leaders. They come into the front straight here at Atwell Park. 15, and make that 14 to run. And Jared Waters another big lunge to the inside of Luke Fraser. Fraser tries to shut the door as they make their way to turn number 2. And down the back straight, Waters hits the front. Fraser a big lunge into turn number 3. They make their way out of turn number 4 as the crowd are on their feet here at Atwell Park. 13 to run, and the Victorian takes the lead. Jared Waters out of Mildura. Now leads from Luke Fraser. Matt Noakes is third from Brandon Fraser. Look at Laurie Dowsett on the charge. To the inside of Joel Berkeley, a great battle for 5th. Brad Wicks is 6th and the national champion. Brock Atkins is slowing on the top side of the racetrack. Brock Atkins is slowing. He won't be the national champion anymore. The Elite Shock Services Ford Falcon will retire from this one very shortly. 13 laps remaining of Atwell Park, and the Mercedes-Benz that won the South Australian title at Murray Bridge earlier this year now leads the national title A-Main here in Albany, and we've got our second stoppage. The yellow lights have come on for the stationary, well, momentarily stationary Ford Falcon of Brock Atkins. 12 laps remaining, I do believe. 12 to run. Kai Walters, the Victorian champion, retiring from the race with a flat right front tyre. So his impressive run here in Albany comes to an end after 2 heat wins, qualifying inside the top 10. He is out of this one. Brock Atkins, he might be flirting with the idea to continuing in this one. He did bring the yellow lights on. A-Main here in the West. Jared Waters from 15th to lead this national title. A-Main after 28 laps have been completed. He brings the field out of turn number 4 and gets on the loud pedals. He comes to the start-finish line. Just checked up a little bit. He's got mechanical problems. The V92 is slowing. It sounded like it was missing as it entered turn number 1. Matt Noakes and Luke Fraser getting into it on the back straight, and all of a sudden, Brandon Fraser making it 3 wide as it's all happening further back between Sam McCauley, Paul Stevens, and also Dylan Burrow. Just checked the field up there, did the V92. It didn't fire. Could hear Jared trying to get, he had the foot on the accelerator and it was missing and popping and banging at the start-finish line. Checked the field up and there was contact between Luke Fraser and Matt Noakes. Right front to left front to right front between Noakes and Fraser as they were side by side coming out of turn number 2, trying to race their way to the inside of the momentarily stricken Mercedes-Benz. So will that happen again for Jared Waters in this restart? Just check the field up ever so slightly, coming to that green flag. The first second or two, it got going. And all of a sudden it had mechanical woes. And Laurie Dowsett, he got caught up in that when it all sort of nose to tailed a bit coming in through turn number 2. And Morgan, the Dowsett's Auto Service Falcon, has come to see you on the infield.
Yeah, some heavy right damage to the auto. 14 of Laurie Dowsett. They're trying the big thick tape, but instead of that, Sean Fitzgerald is going for the whole hog. In fact, it's Darren Fitzgerald doing the waffle stop to get the front bumper off. The FG Falcon 4 driven by Blake Watson. So more word as well coming through from the pits. Oh, sorry, I should say the infield. For Brock Atkins, your national champion, well now former national champion, says he's got a misfire. It's the best of Joel Burke in clothing, Carter Iron, the Queensland and current West Australian champion. Just having a word with Josh McAlpine. They didn't have a look over the car, it was just a conversation with Berkeley. Actually gotten to the tape as well. Big patch
comes up turn number 4. This is the moment of truth. It seems to have rectified itself. So a slight electrical problem for the NZ Mildura Mercedes, but he leads out of turn number 2 and down the back straight with 11.5 laps remaining of Albany's Atwell Park. It's Fraser from Noakes. Another Fraser in Brandon sits in 4th as Joel Berkeley has gone to the top shelf. He's using the high line of Albany's Atwell Park to his advantage. He's in 6th from Brad Wicks, Jason Batchelor, Jamie Higgs and Sam McCauley is your top 10. But the Mercedes, whatever the drama was, it's cleared itself. And he's got out to 0.4 of a second over Luke Fraser. That first flying lap after the stoppage. There'll be the distance of a heat race to go as they come out of turn number 4. 10 to run. It's Waters from Luke Fraser, Matt Noakes, Brandon Fraser, Laurie Dowsett with a bit of a banged up race car. is digging on the bottom, trying to work his way into fourth. From Joel Berkeley, Brad Wicks, Jason Batchelor. He's eighth from Jamie Higgs, Sam McCauley, Paul Stevens, Dylan Barrow, Gary Pagel, Daniel Simpson, and Aidan Trewern. Your 15 cars remaining in this national title A-main here at Albany's Atwell Park. And there's 9 to run for Jared Waters, who's done an unbelievable job in this A-main. 18.625 his quick time on the race. And he leads by 1.2 seconds back to the 15 of Luke Fraser from here in Western Australia. Matt Noakes is gallant back there in third from Brandon Fraser, Laurie Dowsett, and Joel Berkeley. He was nearly on Albany Highway that time around through turns 1 and 2. He was that wide out by the concrete wall. He's having a big lunge as Joel Berkeley as they enter turn number 3, three-quarter track high on the outside of both Brandon Fraser and Laurie Dowsett, having a great scrap for the minors. Brandon Fraser narrowly holding on to fourth with 7 to run. But the Mercedes-Benz of Jared Waters seems to have this race in his keeping. He leads by 2.1 seconds back to the 15 Falcon of Luke Fraser, who sits in second. Berkeley, three-quarter track high, continues to run the outside of Albany's Atwell Park, trying to find the better of both Brandon Fraser and Laurie Dowsett. But Jared Waters exits turn number 2. He'll have 5 to run this time around, as we got sparks coming out of the bottom of the 84 car of Jamie Higgs further back in the pack. And we've got a bit of debris on the racetrack. I reckon that's come off the back of Jason Batchelor's car number 46. That plastic bumper's been hanging from the back of the Falcon for most of this race. And also a bit of the right rear quarter panel as well. So sparks leads Luke Fraser, Matt Noakes, Brandon Fraser and Laurie Dowsett for West Australians. And then the first of the Queenslanders is Joel Berkeley. And whatever that problem was for Jared Waters, a little bit earlier in the race, it seems to have cleared itself as Fraser just has a little bit of a look to the inside as they exit turn number 2. Joel Berkeley running the top shelf. He moves his way up into 5th place, puts Laurie Dowsett back to 6th. But the NZ V92 has 5 laps remaining. He leads after starting from position number 15. Brandon Fraser has designs on 3rd place. He's challenging Matt Noakes as they exit turn number 2. Matt Noakes just runs a little bit wide, and look at Brandon Fraser go to work on the bottom side of the racetrack. He wants to be on the podium with his brother Luke, who's up there in 2nd place. Joel Berkeley and Brad Wicks now going to the top side of the racetrack. Berkeley, I think he's getting the better of the battle between himself and Laurie Dowsett. Brad Wicks is 7th. From Jason Batchelor, the 16-year-old Dylan Barrow from the B main is now up into 9th, and Sam McCauley, the VK Commodore for ODH Mechanical, rounds out your top 10. Look at Joel Berkeley hustle the top shelf here at Atwell Park. He might have 3rd shortly. Bangs doors with Brandon Fraser here in the front straight, and the Cush Clothing Ford Falcon is coming towards a podium result here at Atwell Park. There's just 2 laps remaining for Jared Waters as he comes out of turn number 4 here at Atwell Park. The Mercedes-Benz has 2 to run between himself and a national title for the Victorian. He will join Ashley Parkinson as a Victorian to win a national title here at Albany. 1.5 laps to run. He brings the NZ Mildura Mercedes-Benz through Pitts Corner for the second last time. Here comes the white flag for Jared Waters. 1 to run of Atwell Park. Luke Fraser looks to have 2nd place in his keeping. Joel Berkeley, a remarkable performance. He's stolen 3rd from both Matt Noakes and Brandon Fraser. But ladies and gentlemen, he's going to come from position number 15. The South Australian champion from Mildura, Jared Waters, wins the 2023 SSA National Modified Sedan title. Luke Fraser gallant this weekend. He'll be the runner-up from Joel Berkeley, Matt Noakes, Brandon Fraser around at your top 5. Laurie Dowsett will be 6th. From Brad Wicks, Jason Batchelor, Dylan Burrow was 9th, and rounding out your top 10, the Q9 Ford Falcon of Gary Pagel from Queensland. He was the fastest man in official practice on Friday afternoon. By their own admission, the Waters race team weren't real happy with the performance on night number 1. He was 21st in the point standings, and he just managed to sneak himself into the A main by starting from position number 15. And he's gone to work early in this 40-lap main event, Jared Waters. He wins by 3.3 seconds. Back to Luke Fraser. Joel Berkeley set the quick time of his race on the final circulation, a 19.015 to be officially 3rd from Matt Noakes and Brandon Fraser. I should actually say it's unofficial at this point in time for these guys that have finished in the placings. But how about that, Western Australia? Come on, Albany, get up on your feet for the performance. He's come from position number 15, if you don't mind, in the V92. He joins his brother Cam Waters, the supercar star, as a national champion in modified sedans. His brother won 5 years ago at Horsham. He wins in 2023 here at Albany in Western Australia. Come on, make a huge round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. What a performance. They had the car on rails in this 40-lap final here at Atwell Park. Luke Fraser, and what about the drive from Joel Berkeley? He thought, I'm going to the top shelf late in this one. I'm not just going to follow him home, and it paid off big time. Got home for third to the WA champion, so a pair of Ford Falcons on the podium. Matt Noakes, the first Commodore, across the line in fourth, and Brandon Fraser rounding out your top five in car number 2, the Valvoline Ford Falcon. So 2 Frasers inside the top 5. The Mum and Dad, Sharon and Peter, will be absolutely ecstatic with that result. But come on, Albanese, he comes into the front straight. And a big round of applause for the driver of the NZ Mildura Mercedes-Benz, Jared Waters.
What a 40 laps. 15th to the win. Ladies and gentlemen, Albany, bash your hands together for new modified national champion, Jared Waters. One of the last automatic qualifiers to our main event winner. And quickest from qualifying, or quickest laps on Friday. Yesterday wasn't the best to run, but Jared, 15th to first. I think it was on song.
I don't know what happened. I pulled up on the grid and we realised the steering arm was bent. We had like 60 mil toe in, so I didn't even think it was going to survive the race. I don't know what we pulled out of our hat, but we found something in this thing tonight.
You know what you pulled out? A national championship. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks, buddy. Unbelievable. Just blow me away. I'm lost for words.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about it for your national champion, Jared Waters? Your presentation set to come out